Hello and welcome to Lifelong Learning on Location. I'm Ann Hansen and I'll be your host today as we go on location at Western Nevada College in Carson City. We'll be talking about a program that allows incarcerated students to get college degrees with coordinator of prison education at WNC, Rick Van Ostel.
Hi, how are you doing?
How's it going? Nice to have you.
It's going great. Nice to be here.
You have a very interesting job, don't you?
I do. It's very interesting.
And tell us what you do to help incarcerated folks in our area of northern Nevada obtain education while they're behind bars.
We take classes right out into the prison. I help decide what classes we need out there to help them get degrees. We also help get clearance for teachers to go out there. And so the classes are on site. We don't bring any inmates in here. They're always out there. And we have around 30 classes every semester. 4 or 5 prisons that we go to.
Tell us where exactly the programs are housed.
Now there's one, the farthest one away is out at Lovelock Correctional Center. Then there's one, the women's prison, which is Silver Springs Correctional Center. There's Nevada State Prison. There's NNCC, which is Northern Nevada Correctional Center. And then there's Warm Springs Correctional Center.
And why does the college have this program?
Basically, our president and the college is sold on helping inmates better themselves, so when they hit the streets, they have a better chance of staying on the streets. They're better, productive citizens.
Well, certainly there are people living in the service area that Western serves, aren't they?
They are, definitely.
And so that would be appropriate in that sense.
That's right. We have a lot of inmates.
Uh-huh. And so how many students are there in the program?
We average around 250 to 300 students per semester.
Really? I did not know it was that large.
It's that big.
And what are they aiming toward?
We offer about 3 or 4 different types of degrees. They can actually get any degree, but we don't offer all the classes that they need to do that. We offer the General Studies, Associate of General Studies. We offer a welding program. That's just kind of why we have this background. We offer an automotive, and we offer drafting. We offer several business associate degrees. So there's several chances for them people to help and better themselves.
That's impressive that there are so many choices.
Yes, we try.
And what will they do then once they're out on the outside?
What any other person would do, with a degree. Depends on what degree they get, what jobs they apply for. We've had people in the welding program work as foremen. Okay, we've had people work as automotive mechanics. We also get a lot of students that don't finish their degree while they're inside, and they come back on campus after they get out and finish up.
And so, obviously, there appears to be some kind of a societal gain for this, to educate these folks while they're behind bars, so they're more productive when they are out of prison.
Yes, it helps the recidivism level. 80% less chance of going back. Actually, more than that, almost 85 to 90% if they get an associate degree. And if they get a bachelor's degree, it goes almost to 0.
Really? So the more education they get, the less chance they have of returning to prison.
That's correct.
And that's statistics that will bear that out.
Yes, there is. Those come from Department of Corrections, national statistics. Almost anywhere you want to look, you can find those kind of numbers.
And what kind of students do you get in prison? Tell us about. Is there a diversity as there would be at the regular campus?
What kind of? What they did as a crime? Is that
well, no, I mean, what kind of people are they? Are they usually
ages.
Insecure? Are they young? Are they old? Are they?
The same as we get on campus, all different ages. We have youthful offenders. We have people that's old enough for retirement, and then all in between, we get all kinds of people for different types of crimes they've committed. And my teachers that go out there usually stay there after they. Not to live, but
they enjoy teaching.
They enjoy teaching because the students want to be there. They realize that what they're getting is something special that they can't get usually at any place else, and so they work hard to better themselves. I'm really surprised how hard they do work.
It sounds like they're highly motivated.
Very highly motivated.
And perhaps for some of these, this may be the best opportunity they'll have in life to turn things around.
It could be, yes. They're in a situation where they have to perform. Okay, it gives them some privileges at the prison to go to school. It gives them some privileges of getting out earlier if they finish a degree. So they work hard. Plus, it's good knowledge. They like to learn. Most of these students that have been beat down, about 75 to 85% of the students going into prison do not have a high school degree. They get into prison, they finish up their high school degree or GED, and then they come on to college with us. They finish that up, and they suddenly realize, I can do something. I can succeed. Look at what I did. I don't have to steal or hurt people to succeed. I can actually learn, which is great.
I wonder if it's difficult, if there's peer pressure from those who are not interested in bettering themselves against those who wish to better themselves.
I don't know. I mean, the peer pressure, I'm sure, is always there. But, I think it's more the other way. They encourage them to go to school. Some of the old-timers that's been there, they like the benefits and the privilege that it brings into the prison, and so they encourage them to go to school. I've not really heard of anybody not being able to go to school. We've even had some old gang members trying to get out of gangs that have been in a lockdown situation that we had to take special circumstances to get them to a computer class, taking classes, and they wanted to go. And so I think it's a good programming for the prisoners.
And it sounds like it's good for society, too, because isn't it a fact that most of the folks in the prisons today will be released at some point?
There's really very few real life sentences. Most of them will get out at some time and live next to you and me, and it's better to have them a productive citizen. And, a lot of the students going in there were on drugs. You get them off drugs, and they're real human beings. They want to be something, they want to help, and they want to succeed. And the prison is very good at providing programs to help them stay clean and to work on their programs. They have anger management, all kinds of stuff in there. So that when they come into our class, they want to be there. They're no threat. They're no problem. And our teachers like it, and they deal with it.
And speaking of the teachers, is it difficult to find instructors to go work in the prisons?
Sometimes it is, but it's not more difficult than finding good teachers here. We have to make sure that they get clearance to get in. They can't be felons and those kind of things. They have to understand what they're going into, the environment. The prison offers them, the Department of Corrections offers them some special programming or teaching them how to deal with inmates. But once they get out there, they love it because they're human beings. I
would imagine they find it particularly gratifying.
They do, to see them succeed and to help them, and a lot of them, we had 33 graduates this year. And
kidding.
And a lot of them, the teachers went to that, and that's pretty neat stuff.
Very neat. They got college degrees, 33.
33 in
33 people.
5 different prisons.
And are many of them Nevada residents who will be right back in our state?
They have to all be residents to go to school.
Really?
So they'll be here somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's some that may move out like any other college student, but most of them will come here and hopefully lead productive lives.
Absolutely. How do the inmates fund their education?
If they're a youthful offender, that means somebody that's 25 years or younger. They have a GED or a high school diploma, and they have less than 5 years to hit the streets, and they maintain the standards of any grant. C average, can't have to pass 67% of their classes, all of that stuff. They'll get a free ride from the federal government called a youthful offender grant. That's a few students. Then the rest of them have to figure out how to fund it themselves. There is a partial fee waiver that we offer them for going to school, but they still have to come up with a majority of the money to pay for their own classes.
And how do they do that?
Some of them have jobs inside. Some of them get paid $30 a month, and they pay over months. Some of them get people on the outside to help sponsor them.
Family members,
friends, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. If they come up with the money somehow. The problem we're having right now is, as always, it's hard for them to find the money because tuition keeps going up.
Just like folks who reside outside the prison,
That's right.
It's a challenge.
They're not eligible for Pell Grants or anything like that because they are inmates. So anything they come up with.
So it's another kind of financial aid they get, but outside the prison, our students have a lot of even more opportunities, financial assistance.
Oh yes, a lot more. Mm-hmm. So now, if they're a youthful offender and they don't turn 26, and they get out, they can complete they can continue using the youthful offender money until they turn 26.
Oh, that's good,
and
to
so
finish their program.
And we've had students come here doing that.
But isn't it it appears to me that it would be a very sound investment, because what does it cost to take a year at Western in ballpark figures, a couple of $1,000s?
I would guess, yes. You know, it's, what is it? Almost
very reasonable.
$200 a credit.
I mean, the class is about $150.
Right.
And if you take 3 or 5, then you're up around $1,500 plus books.
Right.
But that's maybe $2,000. How does that compare with the cost of incarceration for a year?
Oh, what we pay and what they...
What the state pays.
My understanding is it's about $45,000 per institute, per student. To keep them
per inmate?
Per inmate, to keep them incarcerated. Now, don't quote me on that, because that's just the rumors I've heard, not
But I know it's substantial, whatever it is. It's tens of thousands of dollars.
It is. It's very expensive to keep them incarcerated. And if we can get them out sooner with a skill, with knowledge, with understanding, and keep them out, we are succeeding.
That's a sound investment, really.
It is, and it is. It's a very sound investment.
And so, what's the future for this program? Has it been at the college for a long time?
Yeah, we've been involved in prison education for many, many years. I understand over 20 years. Back when the Pell Grants was available to inmates, we had it. It kind of dropped way off, and then for the last 7 years where I've been involved, it's come back up. Right now, it looks pretty strong, like it's going strong. And
so hundreds of students each year?
Hundreds of students each year.
Mm-hmm. Are other Nevada colleges involved in their service areas as well, doing inmate education? Or is Western unique in this?
A little bit, but we do the best job, of course. We're Western Nevada, you know.
Yeah, I like that. So how about families? Do families ever contact you and say, I have a loved one who's incarcerated. Is there a chance that this person could be educated while incarcerated?
All the time. I have calls constantly. What classes is offered? How do they get involved? And then I also have clerks, we call them inside. That's an inmate person that we pay them. I mean, we pay them big money. I think might be $60 a month. That they are my eyes and ears and hands inside the prison. They help promote the classes, help deal with it. But the parents call in, and they're always very thankful that we're doing it. They also want to know how to help pay for it, that type of thing. So we get lots of calls all the time from people on the outside, especially ones that say, we're so glad that he's here because he wasn't doing anything on the outside, and now he's trying to better himself. And sometimes it's the first time they've ever had an opportunity to be proud of their son or daughter, which is kind of neat.
It's very neat. And I know for some of those folks, this is by far the most the positive thing that's happened in their life.
It can be, yes.
Mm-hmm. So how does someone contact you if they're interested in learning more about this program?
They can call to the college. They can either call the 445-3000 number, then ask for us, or they can call 445-4282, and that's my direct line. I have, and they can call Jeff, which is 445-4406. So 3 different numbers. If they call almost anybody, they can call you.
And ask about the inmate education program.
Right. If they're an inmate, then they need to find the clerk.
Right.
And the clerk can tell them all about it.
Well, it's a fascinating program, Rick, and I really appreciate you being here to kind of let folks know about it a little bit
Thank
more.
you. I appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome. We'll be back in a little while, and we'll be talking with folks who oversee applied programs such as welding. We're back at Western Nevada College, talking this time about technologies and technology programs at the college. With me is the new Director of Technology Programs, Ed Martin. How are you, Ed?
I'm real good, thank you.
Good, good. And we're kind of in your place here with the welding lab. This is your area of expertise, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And tell me about what you do here.
Well, we offer a welding program. We offer 2-year degrees, 1-year degrees. We offer certificates. The 2 instructors we have, besides myself, we offer welding certifications to industry. We work real closely with industry.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. So you would be talking about the students that are interested in getting the skill of welding or going into a career. What types of students would you attract when you have these courses?
Well, we have a daytime program that we have a lot of people in here that want to get into this industry and are here most of the day. And it's an accelerated program. They're here for about 9 months. But we also offer evening programs for industry, employees that want to do upgrade training, those types of things.
Sure.
We also have classes for the hobbyist. And we try to hit all aspects of anybody interested in welding.
It sounds like, and you have a large lab here. How many stations are in this lab?
Well, there's 50 or 60 stations. This facility is probably one of the best in the West.
Is it really?
It is. It's set up to where we can do most of our training on half the facility. The other half is set up for shears, brake, forming equipment. We have lathes. We have all types of equipment. We have space where students can bring in projects. So we've addressed both sides, the hobbyist, the industry guy that wants to learn to fabricate, and also the weld training in the booths.
That's excellent, because there are jobs in the welding field, aren't there?
Yes, there are. We could probably have 4 or 5 jobs for every student who wanted to go to work.
Really? And what types of fields might they work in?
Well, construction. There's a lot of places in Carson City that build aircraft equipment, do fabrication, and probably a lot more in Reno. There's the union iron workers that could employ all of our students if they wanted to go to work.
Do you think that the majority of your students are looking to have a career skill?
Yeah, they come in here with a general background of welding. They already realize it's something they want to go into, and they're interested in it. So it's a fun place to teach. The students they're energetic and ready to go, and we're glad to help them.
Now, you think of it as a traditionally male occupation. Are there women in the program?
Yeah, about 10% of the people in our program are ladies that come in here, and they're usually a little more patient than the guys. They focus on some of the different things, but also welding is a good stepping stone to other things. There's education, there's inspection, there's all kinds of engineering programs where welding's a good place to start.
It certainly has been in the news lately with some of the bridge failures, and I'm sure that that's one of those things that, you talk about those kinds of issues and how to prevent those. Is that part of a curriculum in welding?
It is, and one of the things we try to instill in the students that every weld is important. Everything has to be done a certain way, and there's welding codes that apply to everything we do, and it's not just a backyard activity. This is serious business. When you see buildings go up 100 stories and casinos and walkways and the life expectancy of these facilities, it's once you start getting into it, it's critical work.
Oh, I would bet so. Can you make a decent living in welding?
Yes, you can. I watch the newspaper, the Reno newspaper, and watch for salaries and those types of things. And it is. I've been in this industry for 30 years, and I found it to be, it pays pretty well.
Paid the bills.
Yeah, it paid the bills.
And it's fun?
It is. I've enjoyed it. I haven't never lost my enthusiasm for this. And it's really rewarding to take somebody that's looking to get into this trade and give them the skills that they can take home and take care of their families, and they have a nice career.
Go out there and succeed.
That's right.
And for those who are interested in doing it for fun, I know that ornamental welding's kind of taken off, hasn't it?
It has. We have students that come in that do ornamental work, and we have retired people that come in and do hobby types of things.
Sculpting and those.
Yeah, and it's fun to work with them because it's kind of a relaxed atmosphere, and this facility is so well equipped that it's easy.
That's great.
And it's all here.
I was in here one time and I saw a woman who was creating a fabulous, large chandelier for her home at Lake Tahoe. And I thought, boy, I had never thought of that, the applications that you could have for welding.
Yeah, we can do just about anything. We can machine, we have pipe benders, we have all kinds of cutting equipment, and it's you get spoiled here.
I bet you do. I know some folks can go and weld in the ski resort industry too, can't they?
Right. We have a lot of people that come down from Lake Tahoe because, again, those are critical welds. And Randy and I are both welding inspectors, so we can test and supply them with the credentials they need to go do this work.
So we can certify them here.
Right. We certify the welders right here.
Oh, that's great. That's a great service, isn't it, for the community?
It is. We don't have to send it out to a lab. We can do all that right here.
Oh, what an added benefit for the students.
Right, and we do that at no cost when they're in the program.
Oh, that's great. Now, this is one of several kind of applied technology programs that the college offers. What are some of the others?
Well, we offer a machine tool program, and it's related to welding. Some of the machine tool students come over to welding to take some classes because it is working with metal. We have an automotive program, an auto body program, construction program, and a drafting program.
So they're really integrated technologies, aren't they?
They are, especially with auto body, machine tool. They all have something to do with metalworking.
Absolutely.
And the shops are close together, and all the faculty work well together.
Do they?
Yeah.
So it's a good team. Now, are there abilities for students to start as early as high school to get into to our programs?
Yeah, there are. We have agreements with the high school to where they can earn college credit at the high school.
Oh, really?
Our tech prep or the 2+2 agreement. We also work closely with the high school instructors. Sometimes we get donations and the material really doesn't fit what we do, but it's perfect for them. So we work and we take donations from industry and sometimes help them. Mm-hmm. We distribute them and try to give them a hand. And it also builds relationships, and that's important.
Now, you mentioned the construction. Western's got a brand new first-time program in construction technology, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Brand new this year.
Construction management?
Yes.
And it's a bachelor's degree.
That's right. It's a 4-year degree, something new for us.
Very much. And what does that allow a student to do if they I mean we have a 2-year degree, right?
Right.
And this builds on that?
Well, it does. It allows a student to go further. And that relates right back to the job. Instead of working up and finding a ceiling on the job, now this 4-year degree allows them to do other things.
Go into the supervisory level.
Right. Maybe rise above a lead person or something mm-hmm. like that.
Mm-hmm. And I know these programs don't just happen. You mentioned donations. Certainly community support is integral for these programs because, let's face it, they're expensive, aren't they?
They are.
And how does that work? I mean, are there lots of companies that are involved? I know that you have advisory committees. Are they involved in those?
Right. The advisory committees, we meet once or twice a year, and they're representatives from industry. And they come in, and we identify some of our needs, and sometimes they're financial. And they go, well, we've got 10 tons of material out there, and we had no idea you could use them.
So there you go.
A
match was made.
A match was made. We can buy equipment instead of steel, and that helps the program grow and gives us access to new things. We can be a little smarter with our money.
That's a great example. And I know with the new construction technology program, several business groups have been providing scholarships for high school students to come and take classes. I think of the Douglas County Builders Association and the Builders Association of Western Nevada. It sounds like that's really critical to programs like these.
And it is. I think it's important that one of the things you can do is you can start off in high school if you're interested in construction, come up here and go through a 2-year program with Gene and Bill up here. And
then go to work if you want.
And go to work if you want and get into our bachelor's program and still be in the area. You don't have to drive to UNR after working all day. You can complete that degree right here.
That's fantastic for Western. I mean, this is a first, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And
we're pretty proud of it. and we think it's going to be pretty successful.
I know there's been quite a bit of interest, hasn't there?
There has. It's an exciting thing.
And the faculty that you have, you mentioned the credentials that you and your colleagues have in welding. There are faculty in the other areas of your technology division that are also really highly qualified, aren't they?
There are. We go to a lot of trouble to find people with the right background, experience, and education. And also, industry certifications are important to us. And that rolls right over to the quality of the student that we produce.
So we are, at this college, trying to have these applied programs attain the credentials that they need to be held in high esteem by these professional organizations.
Right, and we need to send somebody out there that's a professional, well-trained, and represents us well, and is able to take care of themselves and their family. And we do that with these credentials.
And are most of the programs either accredited or gaining accreditation?
They are. Our automotive program's in the process. Our welding program is already certified through the American Welding Society. And our machine tool program, we're all hooked to associations. Mm-hmm. And those are the same associations that a lot of the construction companies are associated with. So it's a good thing for us all to be in the same loop.
Now, of course, the faculty like yourself, they have both academic credentials plus experience?
Right, in education, and it's difficult to find that person, and we're really fortunate here to find somebody with the background and then find somebody with the education and experience to come in here and not only know the industry, but be able to deliver it, to be able to teach. And when we're successful at that, we have a good team.
Oh, it sounds like it. I
In
mean,
all
it's
the
pretty
areas.
energetic, too, isn't it?
It is. It's an exciting place because it's active.
Mhm.
And then you can actually see results. You know, you take somebody in, the skill levels might be marginal, and at the end of a year or so, you send somebody out that can go out there and earn a living and get a good job, and they're okay.
Very much so.
And that's where we get our job satisfaction, out of seeing other people succeed.
Absolutely. And what would you tell someone who's sitting at home watching us that maybe either is interested in changing careers, likes hands-on learning, might be interested in one of your applied programs? What would you tell them to do?
To contact one of us, to call us. All of our instructors they're here a lot. We put in a lot of hours, and we can always find time to work with the students.
It sounds like your programs are kind of day and night programs too. They're open in the evenings plus the daytime.
Yes, we're open. We normally open at 8 in the morning and we close at 9 at night.
My goodness.
And so we can take care of a student who may have an evening job. He can come during the day, and then the majority of the students work during the day, so they can come into our evening programs. And we also move our faculty around, so we can offer the best training at both times of day, in the day and
That's great.
evening.
Faculty teach evenings then too.
Right.
That's really nice for students to know that there's somebody qualified who's going to be there when they can be there.
Right.
Well, it sounds like it's a really positive program, and I hope that students will, if they're interested in working with their hands, will take a look at these applied programs. There's a good living to be made, and it sounds like it's very gratifying for folks like you, at least.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's fun.
Well, thanks for being here on the program. I've
You're
enjoyed
welcome.
talking with you. And I hope that you will think about your lifelong learning opportunities, especially at Western Nevada College. We'll see you next time. I'm Ann Hansen.
Want a hands-on career? Build your future with a Western Nevada College degree in construction management. Whether it's machining, drafting, auto mechanics, or welding, choose Western Nevada College. Enroll now at WNC.edu.